Hello everyone, welcome back to another Paint With Me in My Cat Sketchbook. I'm so glad and happy that you are here. I'm starting to see that these videos are bringing new faces to my channel, so the first question I have for you is, how are you doing in this December? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling a little sad? Are you feeling a little optimistic, excited? How are you feeling? And also, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you clicking on this video, and I hope that we get to know each other a little bit in the comment section and kind of build a little community here. If this is the first time you've clicked on this video or this type of video on my channel, I am working in my cat's only dedicated sketchbook so I can get better at painting cats because I want to one day paint beautiful portraits of my own cats. Like my other videos, I'm doing a master study and copy of an artist that I admire. Her name is Jen_art on Instagram, also known as Jennifer, and I really admire her painterly oil color style, and I hope to kind of recreate it, but also, input my own style because I only primarily use watercolors and gouache. And this was the first time that I was really trying to paint a all black cat, and I think there was definitely some learning that I needed to do while painting this black cat. I also think that the facial expression was a little tricky for me too, so that was a little bit difficult as well. But overall, I think it's super cute, and while I was painting, I was thinking to myself, I've definitely done this before. Like, this does not seem new to me. And so I flipped through my old sketchbooks and I ended up finding a painting that I did of this exact same reference, this exact same cat that I referenced from Jennifer's art. And it was so funny because I don't think I really tried that hard to make it look like a nice painting. Maybe I started out wanting to make it nice, and then I kind of just did whatever because I was getting frustrated with it. But it's really funny to kind of see the difference in a couple months, like me actually trying and me kind of giving up in a comparison kind of way. But the topic of this video is about my ever-changing art style. And I say ever-changing because my medium doesn't really change. I've always stuck with watercolors and gouache, but it's my subjects that end up changing. I always gravitate towards portraits, but I change between wanting to paint people or wanting to paint cats or animals in general. And I've definitely struggled with deciding which focus I want to do because there's a little bit of a different muscle and mindset you want to have, or at least I have, when I paint people versus when I paint cats like I'm doing right now. But surprisingly enough, even though there's definitely frustrations happening, but I think it's only because my drawing skills are not where I want them to be, which I talk about in my last painting in my cat sketchbook video. If you want to check that out, I talk a little bit about what my drawing skills are at the moment. But I think most of the point of frustration I have while painting cat portraits is my actual drawings issues, drawing style issues, not necessarily painting. And I've never really struggled with painting. I always struggled with drawing, which is very interesting. I don't know if I'm the only one that has this issue, but my drawings are never at the same level as I feel like my painting skills are. And I don't quite know why that is, but I think that my style with painting is also ever changing. The way that I paint my pet portraits is vastly different than how I paint my human portraits, and I think that's a point of struggle for me. Do I want to do it this way or that way, and how can I make them look like they're all my art? And I think that's kind of the biggest struggle for me, is that I see other artists and I see that they have a very set style of how they paint and the subjects that they paint, and I feel like I don't really have that. And I get really frustrated with myself because I want to, eventually make this my full-time thing, make an income from my art. And I feel like I need to find what my style is and what my subjects are, but I have a hard time between what I want to do and what I think I should do versus what comes easy to me. And I know it's okay to get out of your comfort zone sometimes, but when I like painting cats is not in my comfort zone, but when I paint them, it's magical for me. Like painting, like the color mixing, everything is so nice. And when I paint my girls and I incorporate the botanicals and the flowers, I feel so good in what I'm doing. The only problem that I have is that I want to incorporate more figures, and that was one of my 2023 goals, and I didn't necessarily reach that because I have poor drawing skills, and I'm just gonna say it. My drawing skills are not where I want them to be, and it's very hard for me to draw figures in my work. And then when I do, I really dislike them because I can't fix it with painting. Like, you can't really fix anatomy the same way that you can kind of fix a cat's face with a painting, like I sometimes do. And so that's why I've been really like frustrated in myself, because I really want to have more dynamic figures and I want to be able to tell a story with my paintings and have them be a little bit more meaningful. But I definitely have a hard time just sitting down and studying anatomy, mostly because, you know, I'm doing this YouTube thing and that takes time, and I also have my full-time job. It's very hard for me to focus on just learning anatomy, and there's so much to learn, where I feel like when you just paint a face, there's only so much you can learn, and it's always going to be kind of the same way. But anatomy is so fluid and different, and I just have to find a way that it's easy for me to do it, but without having so much friction. And right now I'm having a lot of friction with my art style, and I'm trying to find a way to incorporate all the things that I love into one consistent style that speaks volumes about my art and says, yeah, I recognize that art. That's Jada's art. I want someone to be able to do that. I want people to be able to recognize my art. And I think that's what I'm going to be really focusing on in the next year, is really figuring out what kind of art that I want to make, work on learning and studying and practicing that type of art, get really good at it, and update my portfolio with all that work that I produced. And maybe my audience, the people who like the type of work that I do, will find me, and my channel will continue to grow, and one day I'll be able to have the house of my dreams. But ever since I threw myself into my art practice 2 years ago in 2022, I want to say, yeah, 2022 is when I really dedicated, I guess the end of 2021 too, but mostly all of 2022 and now, I really dedicated my energy and my time to honing in my art skills, because I want to be able to do this full time, but I also want to be able to take care of myself and one day buy a home and be able to decorate it, really have a home studio. I think the most important thing for me is to be able to have a style that really shines through and that people recognize. And I think part of the learning is going to be very hard for me, because I'm going to have to really be more conscious of what I'm doing. And I'm glad that I took the chance on myself to see what I could create. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble on and talk about life and my art style and what I hope to do going forward. For now, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Take care.
Can you feel it, honey? Can you feel it, honey? Now you're way past that. All that bad, 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 bad. So bad, 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 bad. Can you see it, honey? Can you see it? See you past the trouble. Now you know the meaning of it all, it all. Didn't think it happened so soon, but then one afternoon you find